Good morning. This is a little feedback for your writing assignment number 4, the research-based report. I have pulled up here the PDF that outlines the components of the research-based report. I recall from a previous email and a couple of exchanges that, questions that you had posed about the research-based report. And one of them, all of them kind of focused on, do I just combine all of the writing assignments that we've done? And I answered yes and no. So I think I was not direct enough. So the research-based report is a new writing. It is not simply a tape together, piece together, cut and paste together all the previous writings. It does use the same information or the findings. It is in many ways the information is transferred into the final report. Let's go page by page or component by component through your report so I can share with you where things need to be adjusted and what is still missing. So first you want to start with the title page. I don't see that attached. That's a pretty, you're just giving a cover sheet or, a title to the whole report. The next is your letter to a decision maker or the letter of transmittal. And this is perfect. Enclosed, please find my report. Don't forget, you gave me the permission to do that. That's exactly what a letter transmittal does. It just says, here's what you're going to find. This is where it's based in. Here's what it tells me. This report shows. Don't say will show, say shows. Keep it present and active. Shows the benefits of pursuing an employee mindfulness program for our company. Recommendations are included the research-based recommendations are included that will add great value to our business. And then thank you in advance for your time and consideration. When you hand off something, especially to the CEO of a company or somebody really far up the food chain, you're really not expecting to hear back from them. This is basically at the point where you say, like, look, I did all this research and this is what I found. Now I'm going to put it in your ballpark. And so the second statement of, I look forward to receiving your thoughts regarding the implementation of the program, I would just truncate that. And that's not just for this paper. If it's in this paper, it's perfectly fine. But I'm giving you advice for future research-based reports. When you're passing on this information, this body of research, you most likely you're not going to hear back from the person that you're giving this to. It goes to a committee. That committee disseminates it. It'll go to a subcommittee. Those types of things. So this is just when you hand off a research-based report in the real world, you're not really looking. You probably are not going to hear back. So I would just say thank you in advance for your time and consideration. XOXO and move on. So here we go. You have your title page. You want to put that at the very beginning. Now this table of contents, go back and take a look at the APA format. I think it's week 3. And it shows, there's a link in there that shows APA structure for table of contents. It's a little different than this. The most important thing is that you maintain consistency throughout your paper. And if you're using APA in text citations, you want to make sure that you're using APA format when you are introducing your title page. Let me see if I can squish this down a little bit. There we go. There, have full view. All right. This executive summary, what I see here is you've cut and pasted your memo in here. The executive summary is different. On the one hand, yes, it uses subtitles like the memo. And the content from the memo is very similar, but the executive summary it's basically has 3 subheadings, like, the problem, the findings, the recommendations. And they're just 1 or 2 paragraphs, and the recommendations are kind of outlined. You want to say the problem of this, you don't want to give a summary, and you don't have a title up here. The problem in our company has noticed a lack of pressure, gosh, my brain's not working right now. Employees suffer from multiple levels of stress. offering businesses in today's world address these external and internal stress factors by offering benefits packages to include wellness programs. Our company would benefit from a wellness program in A, B, and C way. That's the problem. The findings is, research-based shows this, interviews shows the primary research conversations with employees reflect this, and that's where you just suggest the raw data. And then finally, based on these findings, the recommendations are for our office or for our company are, and then list them. And that the executive summary is, this is what you're going to find, a little meteor of like, here is the problem, a little meteor, meaty or MEATIER, of this is the data that supports this problem. One is the secondary research that you did online through UMUC, and then two are those interviews that you've done with employees. The secondary research shows this is a problem in multiple organizations. The primary research targets, yes, it's a problem here, and then finally your recommendations. So what I see here is your writing assignment number 2 piece together, and that's not quite what we need to do. After you have your executive summary, then your table of contents, and then the introduction. And the introduction is an introduction to the overview of the whole project. So the whole research itself. So, mindfulness programs in the workplace increase productivity. And that's your introduction. You want to say, like, this is the problem, this is what it does, and then you want to give a quick 3 or 4 sentences of how that, and this is part of the introduction, how that problem is seen in our workplace, and then 3 or 4 sentences of the research from nationwide or from scholarly articles, and our company refers to these are potential recommendations to solve the problem. So the introduction is an overview of what you have for the paper. If I go here, I have a little outline of how to do that. So the introduction gives it, then you want to suggest the methods. You want to say, I did some secondary research, and you just give a quick paragraph here. Secondary research or research of scholarly articles and journals pointed to. You want to tell how you conducted that research. What was the method that you used? And then primary research. Individuals in the company were interviewed, discuss, give an overview in a paragraph of what it was that what your primary research was, how you conducted it, and then discuss the findings. And these are all subheadings. The secondary research findings, that is this portion, mindfulness programs. This is your secondary research findings. And you could include that there. And then after that, your primary research findings. And that is the results from your survey or your interview. How did you tabulate that? Is there a way that you can graph it? Can you somehow physically show the results of that primary research of those interviews? And then list and discuss in greater length the 3 recommendations that you have based on these findings, and then offer your conclusion. So this is kind of the structure of what this body of the report is. So if you want to, in many regards, there are ways that you can just fold in the work that you've already done, but it just needs to be pieced together in a little different fashion. So then we move down to the base, and this bottom portion is fine. You want to make sure that I want to pull this out just to double check that we are using, yes, you do have APA format. Sometimes when I have to split the screen, it truncates these, makes them a little smaller. What I recommend doing also is attaching at the end as an appendix. And again, I think it's week 3, we'll show you how to do that in APA style. Attach the questions that you used for the interviews. Was there a specific format? Was there a formula that you used? So you want to do that at the very end. And then after you do that, I would pick one style, single spaced or double spaced, and make sure it's all left justified. Here you have big headings in the in the center. You want to make sure all of this is left justified. Don't indent for your paragraph or indent for all paragraphs. Whatever format that you take, make sure it's synonymous. And then make sure that your font size is the same too. So I look forward to reading your final copy.